You wouldn't ask a chef to take on the role of an engineer, just like you wouldn't ask an engineer to take on the duties of a chef. That's why it's important to be able to distinguish the chef from the engineer on your team. As a manager, your goal is to match your team or company needs with the relevant person, and that starts with understanding team members' unique strengths, interests, and values. Here's why it's so important to get to know your team's strengths, interests, and values, followed by some specific questions that you can ask to understand them better. First, let's start with strengths. A person's strengths are those things that they consistently do well. You'll have more success from developing your team's strengths rather than concentrating on their weaknesses. You can help employees identify their strengths by asking questions, such as, what would you say are your top 3 strengths? What tasks are natural or easy for you? And what unique talents do you bring to the team? However, it can be difficult for an employee to identify what is unique or exceptional about their skills. So also be sure to reflect on your own observations and experience with the employee's work. Where does the employee excel? What are their greatest accomplishments or contributions to the team? What do you rely on them for? Compare and contrast your notes to get a more accurate picture of an employee's strengths. Next, we have employee interests. Interests are those things that an employee enjoys doing. It's important to develop employees in a way that's relevant to their interests. That's because passionate and engaged employees will likely perform better and stay around longer. So, find regular opportunities to ask employees what excites them. For example, you might ask, what types of tasks and projects do you enjoy most? What skills would you like to learn? If you had no restrictions, what kind of work would you do? Also, pay attention to the employee's interests outside of work. How do they spend their free time? What are their hobbies? And where do their personal and professional interests overlap? Finally, let's talk about employees' values. Values are principles that an employee cares about most. Values give meaning to an employee's career and their life, and they're defined by what it takes for your employees to feel the greatest sense of pride, happiness, and fulfillment. Employees who live their values at work are often more fulfilled and satisfied in their careers. So to better understand your employees' values, ask about what makes them feel proud, happy, and fulfilled. For example, ask, what are you most proud of in your work? What does an ideal work and personal day look like for you? What work do you find most rewarding or meaningful? And what are the highest priorities in your work or life right now? Getting to know people sounds easy. Because it is. Get to know your employees in one-on-ones. Make time for small talk. And pay attention to what their actions say about them. Aim to delegate tasks and create development opportunities that align with what people are good at, what they enjoy, and what they care about. By leveraging people's strengths, interests, and values, you can help employees develop a career in which they do what they love and are good at what they do. That means happy employees and a high-performing team.